Okay, there you go. So yeah, definitely we are recording all of our classes and you will have access to all of the recordings. So in your documentation spreadsheet, there is a tab for video links, okay? And usually the way it works is that links are not immediately available because Zoom takes some time to process those links, okay? So basically, usually we share them within like an hour after the class or so. So like, don't worry if it's not immediately there. Just check back in like an hour, and most probably the link will be already in your tab in your spreadsheet. Okay. Any other questions?
Do we have a quiz today?
No, don't worry. It's just it's just a reminder for us to give you like this quiz as a homework, but we will not have a quiz in the class. So I wanted to talk about a little bit about the like general morale and like flow during our class times. So basically, you guys are gonna stick together for the next 6 months, right? So you will probably spend more time with each other than with, I don't know, some members of your family, because you will have 3-hour classes. Plus, sometimes you guys will do like group activities outside of the classes. Also, like I highly encourage you to do homeworks together as a group. So it means that this group of people will be like your second team or like second family, at least for the next 6 months, right? So I want you guys to all be respectful to each other, to be patient with each other. It's very important to encourage each other, give each other some time. Like if someone is struggling to, I don't know, understand like specific topic, help each other out, okay? So we are a team here. So let's keep that in mind, especially during the classes. Let's support each other and be respectful, okay? And if you guys have like a question on your mind and you're in doubt, like if I should ask that question or not, so I can guarantee that whatever question you have, probably it means that at least half of the class has the same question on their mind. They're just a bit maybe shy or nervous to ask that. So just make sure that you always speak up. There is this misconception that if nobody is asking questions, it means that everyone understood everything. And then you feel lonely and like alienated. You feel that, you're the only one who didn't get the subject. And that's a very false feeling, because usually when the class is like really silent, it means that nobody understood anything. Okay, so if you're there like on the other side of the Zoom and struggling to understand the topic, and you're struggling like you're battling with your, I don't know, shyness, like, should I ask this question? Should I not ask it? Always ask. Okay, so there are no silly questions in this class. All questions need to be asked, and all questions need to be answered. Okay, so just make sure that you always speak up. Okay, let's talk about quizzes. So here does everyone have access to the portal?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So
No, I
if
know her.
what's that? Okay, if you have a question, please just speak up. So basically in your portal, I think it's in the projects. Yeah, so we have quizzes for every topic. Okay, so like after every class, you will be assigned some kind of quiz that you will need to take. These quizzes are not graded, so it's mostly just for your own good. So you can check how well you understood the subject and how well you were able to, memorize some of the topics or like terms that we have discussed during the class time. So just, at the end of each class, remember to ask your instructor which quiz you should take after today's class, okay? Sometimes we will do those quizzes in class as well. So it's like, it's very flexible, and you can also take these quizzes as many times as you want. So it's not graded. You can submit them as many times as you want. It's just for your own sort of confidence and for your own good to take them and to try to remember, the terms or the concepts that we're asking in those quizzes. Okay. Any questions? All right. So the homework submission system, I think you guys are going to discuss it during the extra hours. So for now, I will just put a pin on that. Does everyone have a VS Code installed on their PC?
Yes.
Is there anyone who doesn't have VS Code? Good. Okay. So there are like a couple of extensions that we're going to use in VS Code, which we will talk about probably during the extra hour as well. So for now, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but just keep in mind that we will be like doing some installation stuff today after the main class. All right. Has anyone had a chance to watch the video from the portal before coming to class?
Yes.
Good. So in case you guys didn't know, so every class has its own, what is it, like a set of notes, right? And each class has its own like a video link on the sidebar here. So if you do like full screen, you will see that there is like a bunch of links, and one of them is a video. It's just an extra for you guys in case you want to prepare for the class. You can watch this video usually they're short, like 30 minutes or so. Some are longer, but it's good to watch them either before or after class so that you have sort of an idea about the topic that we will be discussing during the class. Okay, so if you have time, please do watch the video. Also, there is at the end of each class, there is a reference sheet right here. So usually this is like a little notepad for you guys to memorize the main like terms or concepts that we covered. So also like if there is a reference sheet, have a look at it after the class and just, take like a mental note that this reference sheet is also important. Okay. Any other questions before we begin the class? All right. So let's start with some web concept basics. Oh, sorry. I have like a bunch of messages here in chat. All right. Oh, I see someone is from Lodz. Nice. Okay, sorry guys, I usually don't check messages during the class, but I will try to check them as frequently as possible. But if there is something that needs like immediate attention, just let me know and I'll have a look at the chat. Also, one note about the Zoom chat here. So basically, the messages that you send, so in Zoom chat, you can either send a message to everyone, right? You can also send messages to each other. These will be private messages. You can also send like a message to me as a host of the meeting. Sometimes like if you need to leave early or something, you can text me. But be aware that the messages that you send to me are not going to be private because all the messages that are sent to the host are available on the Zoom platform. So if there's something personal, just text me on Slack, okay? You can find me on Slack. I'm in your group. So here I am. Okay. So just, text me on Slack and it will be more private than some messages. Okay. I think we can start. So let's start with some web fundamentals with some basics. Let's say we have 30 minutes. So for the next 30 minutes, we'll probably discuss some web fundamentals. And then in the second hour, we will begin our introduction to HTML. Okay, that's the plan. And during the third hour, probably we will be doing a practice project, which is also your homework project. So it will be good if you guys are able to, follow along, not necessarily code with me, but pay really close attention to what we will be doing today, because that will also be your homework. Okay. Cool. So can you guys, maybe somebody already knows this. So what happens when I type the main, so for example, when I'm trying to access say text main page, right? What happens when I type the main name into address bar? It's like, what are the steps that happen before I see this homepage here?
You send an HTTP request to the server.
Okay, cool. Do you know which server? Like the first request is sent to a DNS server. So DNS stands for domain name system, I think, domain name system server. So basically think of the DNS server as like a phone book, So DNS servers store all of the domain names with their corresponding like IP addresses. Okay, so like IP address of the server where your data is basically stored. So after this DNS server, so that's called like DNS lookup, right? So DNS lookup will give us the IP address of our server. So what's IP address? In your own words.
It's like an address of each computer, personal computer.
Yeah, so basically each device, right, that has access to internet has its own unique IP address. So like it's a numerical identifier, like ID of your device. And what's a server? So like we access, so let's say we after that we send request to the server where say text data is being stored. So what does server mean in your own words?
Is it like a giant storage?
Yeah, you can think of it that way. So basically, think of it as a machine that stores your data, right? So for example, when you register like a Gmail account, so where is all your data being stored and processed? So all the, if you're like me, I have like probably thousands, like hundreds of thousands emails by now, most of them unread on my Gmail account. So where's all of that stored, right? In on a server. So server is there to process your requests, to store your data, to process your data. So like if you're, anytime you're making changes, let's say in your Gmail account, let's say tomorrow you decide to change your username or, delete a bunch of emails from your annoying friends. So all of that is going to be processed by your server. Okay. Okay, so once your request is processed by the server, it sends data back to you, right? So in our case, server will send like a homepage, which is the main page. So this homepage is then sort of like processed or interpreted by your browser. Okay, so everything you see on the browser, we are gonna call it sort of like a client side. So everything that, when I say client, I mean browser. Okay, so when I say client side, I mean all of the interactions that you see in your, or that all of the like UI that you see on the browser. Okay, so what does UI stand for?
User interface.
User interface. Cool. So what does interface mean exactly?
Its appearance that you see.
Okay. So can you think of an interface outside of the browser? Like did interface exist before browsers?
I think yes.
Yeah. Can you give us
For
an example?
example, posters or advertisements.
Yeah. Or for
Yeah.
example, so like an interface is something that you use to interact with some kind of technology, right?
Mhm.
So when we say user interface, like people get a little confused. So user interface is just another type of interface, right? So if you're old like me, you guys remember these old TVs that didn't have a remote control, and you had to like go and physically click the buttons to change the channel. Anybody old like me here? Anybody remembers this? So that was also an interface, right? That was an interface for TV.
You are
Radio.
young. There is older guys here.
Really?
I'm pretty sure I'm older than you.
Oh no. So yeah, I remember those days. Like we had a radio, for example. Radio would have also like a bunch of controls, right? This is also an interface. This is an interface for the radio, right? The interface gives you a control of like, changing channels, changing the volume, this kind of thing. So like everything that you are able to interact with is an interface, right? So when we're talking about user interface, we mean whatever you can see and interact with in your browser. Okay, so it's just another type of interface. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so does anybody have an idea about HTML, CSS, and programming languages? I'm sure our QA people have some idea about it. Anyone?
I watched a couple videos, and that is
Okay, so how would you describe
Excuse me, what was the question?
So what are in your own words HTML, CSS, and programming languages in general?
In my own words. So, what is that? It's HTML is a kind of skeleton body. CSS is like our, I don't know, muscles, and
CSS is more like
JavaScript is what?
CSS is more like makeup.
Oh, okay, yeah, the CSS like a makeup, the clothes and something like that, and
Right.
uh, and GS and JavaScript is like muscles, right? Muscles. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's some
Or
tricks,
brain.
abilities, skills, education. So what makes that person fancy and smart and
Oh, that's a very nice metaphor. Okay. So mostly like on the front end side, we will be dealing with UI, right? And all the interactions with the UI. So our program consists of 4 main parts, right? HTML, we have like a block on HTML and CSS. We have a block on JavaScript, which is a programming language. And then we have a block on React, which is a library built on top of JavaScript, right? So what is HTML and CSS? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. And technically, it's not a programming language because, so it's a markup language, right? So it's there to give your web page structure and content. Okay, so all of the visible content that you see on the web page. So, for example, here we have some kind of header, some kind of logo, right? We have some like data here, some text. We have like a bunch of controls with images and names of the classes, right? So all of that, all of these like drop-down menus and stuff, that content part is built with the help of HTML. So HTML gives your web page structured content, okay? CSS stands for cascading style sheet. So basically, CSS is there to make your content look pretty. So all of the styling, all of the, all of the like effects that you see, all of the animations that you see, they were built with the help of CSS, okay? So that's why when your friend here was referring to, so like HTML is like bones or bones and muscles, and CSS would be like makeup and clothes. And JavaScript is the programming language that gives your UI some logic. Okay, so with the help of HTML and CSS, we can create a button, but we cannot give that button any kind of functionality, right? So for example, when I click on this button, I'm able to see this content, but where is that coming from, right? How does the button know that when I click on it, I'm supposed to bring some kind of new content to the UI? So that kind of logic is built with the help of JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript is like the brains of the web page. Okay, so that's
or like intelligence of that person, right?
yeah, something like that. So yeah, that's about it in terms of the introduction. Do you guys have any questions before we move on, like before we dive into HTML part?
May I ask, is the category was made with only CSS or is JavaScript too?
Which category?
This part, like next to header, like category, you just clicked and you can see. No,
This part?
I mean, I can read like literally category and all. And when you press the arrow,
Drop down button.
Ah, this one. No,
yeah, it
sorry.
was made with CSS only or with JavaScript too?
So our webpage is actually built with the help of React and Bootstrap. So Bootstrap is a library that gives you like some built-in solutions. So probably this drop-down was like a boilerplate from Bootstrap, which we will learn later on. But you can definitely create it with just HTML and CSS. Yeah.
Thank
There
you.
won't be any functionality there, but it will look pretty. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. I got it.
Thank you. Good question. Any other questions? Alrighty. So we can dive into our HTML part. So what I'm gonna do now, I don't think I need this anymore.
I have a quick question. Could you please return back to that main page of the, yes. So in order to make those buttons functional, like the intro to HTML, you said React is used, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how would that be different than using the href tag?
That would be very much different.
Yeah, okay. Because
So-
that makes the those buttons clickable as well, right?
Right. But
Mhm.
anchor tag is more like a link
Mhm.
to lead you to like some external source or like internal page, but you can't really build like all the functionality with just anchor tags. Yeah.
Mhm. I see.
So once we move on to like, we have a month of just HTML and CSS, which can be sometimes a little boring because there is no logic in HTML and CSS. So like a lot of it is just memorizing different, syntax and tricks. But once you guys start, I'm very excited for you guys to start JavaScript in 4 weeks, because there's going to be a lot of, logic and just coming up with your own logic to, tackle some complex functionality. And it's, to me, like it's much more fascinating, much more interesting than just HTML and CSS part. But enjoy it while it lasts, because HTML and CSS are easier than JavaScript. So yeah, still, a good time to familiarize yourselves with the tools, with syntax, and, have some fun with it as well, because we have a lot of projects that we're going to build, a lot of pretty projects. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff ahead of you.
So just have a question. So, when we will like get a job, I hope so. Will we really use the HTML and CSS? Because I heard from some people that if you will work in some company, you will get already like almost prepared project, and you will use only like JavaScript. So
Yeah, so basically when you will join a company, of course, like most probably 99.9% of you are going to join a company that already has its own code base. But still you will be working with UI related stuff, right? So front end is impossible without good knowledge, like solid knowledge of HTML and CSS. You may be dealing more with logic rather than presentation part. It's possible, but still, it's important to be very comfortable and very familiar with HTML and CSS part as well. So like it's something that on the daily basis you will be dealing with, not necessarily like it's not going to take, of course, like 100% of your time. Like most of your time will be dedicated to the functionality, to the logic, but still, those are like ABCs of an alphabet, right? In order to speak the language, you need to know the alphabet first. Okay, did I answer your question?
yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
Yeah, Asel, I have a question. So, is it gonna be 4 weeks of CSS and HTML? No JavaScript before that time?
Yeah, it's a bummer. So you guys, you guys have 4 weeks of just HTML and CSS. But there is like a lot to learn there. So, and you guys have like,
Yeah,
I think,
but yeah, I think it should be introduced earlier, JavaScript. So
well,
it shouldn't be.
well, I can tell you that this curriculum is, the curriculum that CETEC uses for each cohort. And we, of course, like we make some changes, we modify it, but I think with the experience that our founders have, I think they thought that this is the most optimal way to do it, because most probably because most of the people that come to this bootcamp don't have any prior learning experience or coding experience. So it takes some time for most of the people to, adjust to the flow. Like usually first week is really chaotic. It's really hard to learn anything during the first week because there's just so much stuff going on, right? So like 4 weeks, I think it's more or less sufficient time. And then we will start JavaScript. So yeah, hopefully that's okay with you too. But I'm sure you will have fun too. Like we have a lot of projects that we're gonna build. And we have like a graduation project, which is gonna be like a larger project that you guys will be working on in probably like groups of, I don't know, 4 or 5 people. So that's gonna occupy the last week of HTML and CSS section. So yeah, I mean, hopefully that will be fun for you too.
Okay, and how long it's gonna be JavaScript before getting into React? How long for JavaScript?
I think it's about
2 months? More?
Yeah, about 2 months or so. I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay.
But you guys will have like your full curriculum. So like every month your curriculum will be updated. So once you start JavaScript, first you will start with the basics, just what is like a variable, what is a function, and that kind of stuff. Then you will deal with DOM manipulations. And then after that you will like slowly transition into React.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
And then you will also have like a dedicated class to just algorithms and data structures, which is more advanced level of JavaScript. And we have about 300 of algorithms that you guys will need to solve once we start JavaScript section. So there will be, a lot of work there. Okay. Those are all good questions. Keep them coming. Do you guys have anything else that you're curious about?
Yeah, so we'll learn all months about HTML. So how many full projects we'll have to make in this month with HTML and CSS only?
Good question. Let me see.
Or just only one?
Basically each class is like a small project, right? Because first you will have some kind of theoretical introduction to like a new topic, and then you will practice that in maybe like a small project. But then you guys will have also homeworks. So if you look into this projects section, so those are probably homework projects and those are practice projects. So, but we shuffle them a lot. So sometimes we will do like a homework project in class and practice project as a homework. So that will be assigned to you by the instructor on daily basis. But at least these 10, and then you guys have a graduation project, which probably you will pick like one of those. And then you will implement it like the whole UI with your group mates. So it will be like a group project. And so on top of that, usually you guys have some kind of project, like mini project that you build in class. So yeah, that's kind of a plan. And then you guys have also quizzes that you need to do. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it for the like HTML and CSS part. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Mhm. Anything else? Before we move on to HTML. That's our today's topic. Okay, so I'm thinking, why don't we have a 10-minute break now? Because once we start today's class, I don't want to like split it into two parts. Okay, so let's have a 10 minutes break, and then we can dive into today's class. Okay, is that okay with you guys?
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Yep.
All right, so I'll see you guys soon. Okay. Are you guys back with me?
Yes, I'm here.
Good. One person is here. How about others?
Yes, we are here.
Good. Two
I'm here
people.
too.
Yay. Okay, good. Three people. So let's start. Our today's topic is Introduction to HTML. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and, you know what, I'm gonna create, I'm battling, I think we don't need this one anymore, so I'm just gonna go ahead and close it. I'm gonna create a new folder, let's call it like HTML class, okay? And I'm gonna open this folder with my VS Code. Okay, 1 second. So I'm gonna open this folder with my VS Code right here. So what you can do is when you guys are rewatching the video, so on the left-hand side here, there's like a panel which you can use in order to like open folders. So you can click on open folder, and my folder is on my desktop, and this is the HTML class. So I'm gonna go ahead and click open right here. So right now, because my folder is empty, there's nothing there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create my first HTML file, and I'm gonna call it index.html. Okay. So when you guys are working on your homeworks or just, you know, practicing whatever we did in class, so the shortcut to create an HTML document is exclamation mark. And then if you click tab, it will create like a skeleton of HTML page for you. Okay. And just looking at this initial skeleton, let's see what do we have here. Let me just divide it into like smaller sections so it's a bit more convenient for you guys to look at. Okay, so here, each HTML document is going to start with a doc type. So what is a doc type? Doc type is sort of like information to the browser about exactly which type of or like which version of HTML document the browser is about to process. Okay, because there have been 5 major revisions of HTML. So currently we are at the 5th version, right? Before, the doc type would be like HTML, you know, 4, HTML 4 point something, 3 point something. So there were like different versions. So the 5th version is just HTML. So you don't need to specify like HTML5, it's just HTML, and the browser will know that it's about to process the 5th like version of HTML document, okay? And if you don't specify the doc type, the browser will still process your page, but there is a chance that it will be displayed in like a weird way, like quirky way. So just make sure that your HTML document always starts with declaration of doc type, okay? Then you will notice that there is the first tag that you see here is HTML tag. And basically like the whole content of your HTML page is going to be wrapped in an HTML tag. This HTML tag signifies the beginning and the end of your document. Okay, so the browser knows that, okay, now I'm starting to process my HTML file, and here's the end of it. Now, there are 2 main sections of HTML document. There is a head section, and there is a body section. Okay. So head section contains invisible data, And body section contains all the visible content. So basically, everything that you can see and interact with, all the content of the web page is stored in the body. Okay. The head section is there mostly to communicate some kind of information to the browser, or, you know, it also contains the title of your document. So the title of the document is something that you see, for example, right here in the tab name. So this is the title of the document, okay? Now, so for now, like for today, we're not gonna touch the head section too much. So just know that whatever there is in the head part, it is invisible to the user. Okay, so it mostly contains some kind of like info, either like to the browser, or sometimes it contains links to other documents, to CSS files, that kind of stuff. Okay, but mostly we will be like, at least today, we will be dealing with the body part. So body contains all of the visible content on the UI. Okay. So how do we create each? So what is an HTML tag and HTML element? Let's start with that. So all of your...
I have a quick question.
Oh.
Is there any way to, I can put a comment?
Sure. You mean in the document, or?
Yes, right in the document. I just want to make like little notes, and I don't know how to make. Oh, okay. So that
It's
is what
comment and / the shortcut for it. Are you using Mac or PC?
PC.
So in your case, that will be probably Control and /
Control / Thank you.
Sure. So do you guys want me to make some notes for you? So maybe like I can say up. So like...
Sorry, Asel. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand. Do we need to repeat after you? Do we need to do the same thing? What are you showing us?
No, no need. No need.
Oh,
For now,
okay.
observe and absorb the material, okay? And then like in the third hour, we will do some practice, but mostly today we will be in the format of like me coding, you watching, okay?
Yeah.
And in the next classes, once you guys are more familiar with whatever we're doing in class, so you guys will have like some little tasks that you will do individually or in groups, okay? So if you need to code with me, or if you need to implement anything individually, I will always let you know beforehand.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So right now, please just observe and ask questions. Right. Okay, so do you guys want me to like keep these notes for you? So HTML.
Yes, please keep them. Thank you.
Sure, no problem. So HTML tag will basically wrap the whole document, right? And will signify the beginning and the end of HTML document. So you know how, so if there's like a lot of content or a lot of text, your VS Code kind of slides to the right, which is not very convenient because you don't want to like keep sliding back and forth. So if you want to wrap your text, you can just click and do Option Z. So if it's a Mac, if it's a PC, it's Alt Z, I think, Alt Z. So then it will wrap your text, you know, on the second line, so you don't have to scroll back and forth, okay? So the head section contains data and links, and it's invisible to the user. Okay, so I will just keep it short, just for you guys, like, and then if you need to read more, you can always do so in our slides. So all the visible content is in the body. All right. so all of the visible content of your HTML document is going to be contained within an HTML element. So what is an HTML element? For example, HTML element can be a paragraph, right? So as you can see, HTML element will consist of two tags. This is an opening tag and this is a closing tag. Okay, so for example, there can be some text here. Okay, and let me just open this. I have this extension installed. It's called Live Server. So I'm just gonna activate it. But don't worry, guys, we will install it in the extra class with you. Okay, so if you don't have it, don't stress. Let me actually split that into two. Okay. Okay, so HTML element consists of 2 or 3 parts. So in this case, for example, HTML element consists of opening tag, closing tag, and whatever comes between them is the content. Okay, so for example, we can have a button, right? It consists of an opening tag, closing tag, and the content, which is button name in this case, right? Right here. Okay, so when you're trying to memorize, and there will be some like a lot of memorization in the first few days. So when you're trying to memorize HTML elements, you can think of them as so you can sort of mentally group them into several groups. They're not officially categorized, but this is how usually like it makes your life a little easier. So there are elements, HTML elements that have that are there to have or to display some kind of content. So for example, a paragraph is there to display some text, right? And if you want to just generate and you don't want to type like a whole bunch of text, so you can just type lorem and press enter, and it will generate some dummy text for you, just like a placeholder text for you. So that's a paragraph tag, right? There are also UL and OL tags. So UL stands for unordered list. Okay, and it is also there to sort of display some kind of content. So unordered list content is displayed within a list item. So here, for example, we can say, I don't know, get groceries. And my mind goes blank. Do homework. And something else. Can you guys think of like a fun task to do? Because all of my tasks are like nerdy tasks. Like go to the concert, for example. Let's do something fun for once. Okay, so this is how an ordered list is going to be displayed on the UI. There is also another type of list, which is OL, which is an ordered list. The only difference between UL and OL is that all ordered list will have numbers, whereas unordered list, it will like be either bullet points or whatever. There's like different types of styling in an ordered list. But basically OL, like if you insert the same list items inside the ordered list, they will show up with some kind of either like number or any like numeric basically symbols. Okay. let's see. So there's also, oh, you can also combine ordered list with unordered list. So for example, inside an ordered list, you can have another UL with like a bunch of list items. So for example, HTML, and then let's add one more, and let's do CSS. Okay, so it will show up in such a way that it will be indented a little bit from the left-hand side, and you will see that it's also like unordered. So you can combine ordered list and unordered lists together. Okay, any questions so far?
No questions.
Mm-hmm. Anybody confused about anything that I've done so far? Let me know now.
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah, just a question. So it's not so important, I think. So this UL or OL. So my problem is language actually. So do we need to learn or remember what does mean OL, UL to interview to other companies, or is not important?
So of course, when you're in a technical interview, they're not gonna ask you what is like UL, what is OL. But honestly, like at the end of the month, even if you don't put an effort to like learn them by heart, you will still learn them. It's unavoidable because you will be using them on daily basis. So like even by the end of this week, you'll probably like if I wake you up at 3 in the morning, you will be able to tell me what's UL, OL, and list item. So don't worry. I mean, like in a technical interview, they will not ask you because those are very simple questions.
Yeah.
So they will not ask you that, but definitely you will need to remember them. But don't stress about it because we will be using them so much that by the end of this week, you will know the difference between those two. Okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
So what was the shortcut for Mac to like make a readable lines when its paragraph is too long?
You mean to wrap them?
Yeah.
It's, for Mac, it's Option Z. Okay? Let me know if it doesn't work for you. All right, so let me show you like a couple of more. So right now we are talking about the HTML elements that are basically that are usually the ones that hold like the text content. Okay, so we can display text content in a paragraph, we can display it in a UL or OL, and LI basically it stands for a list item, just for your information. Also, we can have, for example, like a header, right? So usually like, so, you know, the large text that you see, like a header of like a name of the article or something, or like a blog post name. So that's usually some kind of header. So for headers, we have H1, we have H2, H3, and so on. We have 7 of them. So let's say header 1, header 2, header 3. Okay, so so when you look at them on the UI, you see that a browser by default, it applies some kind of styling to those headers, right? So you can already see that header 1 is distinctively larger, and there is like more space, like white space for the header 1. Header 2 is going to be like a little smaller, and then header 3, and so on and so forth. There's like 7 of them. Okay, so just remember that when you need to add some kind of like a name or header, you can use H1, H2, H3, and so on, like this kind of tags.
Is it just for changing the sizes or for showing how important this part, like, because we
Mhm.
can correct the size with CSS, right?
Right. So basically, it's important to use headers when there are like article names or blog post names or any kind of like section name. Why? Because it is also important for screen readers. So, we always, when we are building our HTML document structure, we have to think about different kinds of users. So some users have issues with like different kind of health issues, right? So there can be visually impaired users who will not be able to see like if you, of course, we can just say header with like a paragraph and then style it with a CSS, right? And make it larger and bolder and make it look like a header. But if we have a visually impaired user who is not able to see the web page, but they're using some kind of assistive technology to understand the content of the web page, so it's very important for them that we use the right tags for the right content, because then the screen reader will say, oh, this is a header. So the user can imagine that, okay, so this is like a name of the article or something, So it's important to use the right HTML tags. So if you have an HTML tag for header, it means that you need to use that one, okay?
Yeah, I mean, the difference between H1, H2, and H3, like it's
It's
depends.
font
It
size.
depends of how much important this information
Oh,
than the other
yeah.
one. Or-
Yeah, so it's just, the hierarchy, I guess. So you will need to like choose which ones, like, for example, if there's like a large article title, then you will use something like H1. And then if there are like subsections of the article, then you can use H2 or H3. So it depends on the importance. So like it communicates how large this name or like article name is, how important it is.
Mm,
Okay.
okay.
Mhm.
Like tema input tema, right? Sorry, just
Yeah, sort of,
yeah, got it. Thanks. I just
like section, subsection.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, I have a question.
Yep.
So, for example, if the UX UI designer is gonna give us basically their design, and the header is not in one of those ranges, like the size wise, do we
Right.
have to, can we do something about that, or is it just a default version? So it's always gonna be like that, and designers should, не знаю, там подстроиться под тебя уже должно быть или как?
Yeah,
Просто,
so
sorry.
So basically, they're gonna give you the design and the font size and the colors that you need to use, and then you can still use the header, like for example H2, but you can change the style of the header. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to remain like exactly the same as it is, because in most of the cases you will have to follow the design that you're given, right? You will have to implement it exactly as it is, as it was drawn. So you can feel free to like change the style. You can make it uppercase. You can change the color, change anything. The important part here is to have the right structure, but the presentation part can be different, of course. Otherwise, all of our web pages would be ugly. Like in the 90s, do you guys remember? Like, has anyone lived in the 90s?
No, we're too
No.
young for that. I'm sorry, but I think I know what you're talking about. Those like old website type of
Yeah.
versions. Okay,
Yep.
okay, that makes sense. But so
All like,
overall, there's always a moment when we can change it, right? So it's just more of a
yeah, of
default
course.
version.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if old websites, old like me from the 90s, if you guys have seen those, or maybe in some, I don't know, movies, retro movies, So you have seen that before, the designs were really ugly. It's because, you know, in the like beginning of at the end of the 1990s and beginning of 2000s, the emphasis was placed more on like more like communicating the information. So they didn't care that much about the presentation part. So the communication was more like one-sided. So for example, you would have a website for, I don't know, like a list of conferences that you can attend, right? And it was just one-sided. So they would just give you information about when and where the conference would be held. And that's it. There was no like interactivity there. But closer to like, I think around 2010, that's where things started turning around. So that's like because there were more and more users, and they were more active, and the demand for better user experience grew. So therefore, the CSS has also evolved since then, and all of the front end technologies have evolved together with increased number of users and increased demand for better user experience. Okay, but if you would look into like websites in 1990s, they wouldn't look much different than what we're gonna build today. Okay, where was I? Okay, so we talked about a paragraph, a UL, OL, and header tags. Good. So like I said, like mentally, when you're trying to memorize these tags, you can remember them by, categorizing them into like 3 groups mostly. So like first group is the one that has text content in it, right? So paragraph definitely is going to have text content. Header is going to have text content. Lists are going to have text contents. Another group would be self-closing tags. So self-closing tags are the ones that don't have any kind of text content in it, and they cannot have any text content in it. So for example, one of them is an image tag. So image tag is there to display some kind of image, right? So let's look for, what do you guys want to look for? Puppies, kittens, dinosaurs?
Chihuahua.
What? What is it?
Puppies are good. Puppies are always good.
Puppies. Oh, puppies. Do we have more dog people or cat people here?
Honestly, both of them are fine.
Cat
Both
people.
of them are, both of them are amazing.
I was 100% cat person before I moved to Poland. Now I'm like also 50-50 because here the dogs are everywhere and they're adorable, and and I just really grew to love them because like back in Kyrgyzstan I thought of dogs when more like of like service dogs, the ones that are there to provide some kind of like security, or because I grew up in a village, so like it was mostly like dogs, they lived outside, and cats, they lived with us, so I was more accustomed to cats. But now I'm really changing my preferences.
Very
Okay, so
relatable.
yeah, which ones do you guys want? Which one should we use?
Asel, a
Whichever
quick
is good,
question
actually.
about before we move to images. Is there any shortcut to when we are typing in the content, is there any shortcut to jump over the closing tag?
Sure. Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I missed that part. So basically, you can, when you're typing, for example, a paragraph, right? So you can either manually like type a paragraph, or you can just type like a P, and then you can press tab, and it will create the element for you.
No, my question was when we create the tag, right? And we are filling it inside the tag. Is there any way I can jump over that closing tag to go on the next line?
I just use like my controls on the keyboard.
Yeah, it's just end in Mac. Yeah, click on the end
And
in the
I don't know.
keyboard
let me
or
try.
something like that.
Yeah.
It worked for Windows as well. Thank you.
Okay.
Where were we? Oh, we wanted to insert an image. So how about this one? Oh, looks cute. Okay, so with the image tag, because the sole purpose of the image tag is to display the image, so there is no text content inside the image tag, right? That's why it is called a self-closing tag. It's self-closing because there is no like with the list item, for example, there's opening tag and there is the closing tag, right? With images, it's different because it is an opening and a closing tag in one image tag. Okay, that's why they're called self-closing. And image tag has its own attributes. So what is an attribute? Attribute in an HTML element is there to sort of like add either additional functionality like links, or is there to like communicate some kind of information, like extra information about an element. Okay, so for example, in the image tag, we have an SRC attribute, which is there in order for us to be able to insert a link to the image. Okay, so now if I insert this link right here, and if I go back to my document, there is our adorable puppy, right? And then that's the SRC tag, SRC attribute, and the alt attribute is there for the alt text. So basically, if your image is for some reason is not displayed, let's say the link is corrupted or something, so then the alt text will be displayed. So we can say like image of a puppy. Yeah, just image of a puppy. Okay. Another self-closing tag is, for example, the HR tag, which is basically, I think it stands for horizontal ruler. So all it does is, I don't know if you guys can see, let me move it here somewhere in between those, like over here. Okay, so all it does is just creates this horizontal line. So that's a self-closing tag because it obviously doesn't have any like text content in it, right? Another self-closing tag is BR, which will basically create like a white space, horizontal white space between elements. So for example, if I add like BR between those two list items, okay, so like after get groceries, so you see how there's like a bit of a space between those elements. So that's what BR is going to do. And because it also doesn't have any content, it's going to be a self-closing tag. All right. And another group of tags. So we're not going to go over like all of the HTML tags because, for example, for like specific group of like form tags, we will have a separate class on it sometime this week or next week. Like today, we're just gonna go over like some of the basic HTML elements. So another group of tags that we use is there to apply some like very, very simple styling. So for example, inside this paragraph, let's say I want to display like some part of this text in bold, right? So then I can just wrap it in, I think it's just B tag. It's either B or bold. Okay, just B. So you see how this part of the text is like a bit bolder than the rest of it. So this is HTML element that you can use in order to apply a little bit of styling there. You can also use EM tag. So let me show you. Okay, and it will look like this, a bit of like italic kind of style. There is also, let's see, oh, there's a mark tag. Let me, oh. No. So it will sort of like highlight the part of the text. What else? Oh, there is also sub and sub. So for example, if I wrap this text in a sub, so you see how it's like, so we usually use it for, let's see, what are the use cases for it? You know how sometimes you have to write like a mathematical formula, and you need this like subtext there. Or if you want to say like first, I don't know, winner of Olympics, right? And you want this first, like ST in first, to be a little bit on the top here. So for that, I think you can use sub with P. I think that will also, yeah, there you go. So like there's a group of tags, there's not too many of them, around 5 or 6 that you can use to apply like a little bit of styling there as well. So that's another group. And then the last group that we're going to talk about today is this group of elements that we use in order to unite other elements into groups. Okay, so for example, like the one that you're gonna use the most is a div. So for example, let's say I have a bunch of paragraphs. Okay. And for example, like these first 2 paragraphs, I want to group them separately for some reason. I don't know, let's say those are like main paragraphs, right? So what I can do is I can wrap them in a div, right? And then once they are grouped inside one div, it will be easier for me to apply some kind of style or just like structurally separate these 2 paragraphs from the rest of the content. Okay, so just, for structural reasons, sometimes you will use this kind of tags. So div is one of the most frequently used ones. There are a bunch of tags that you will use, like, for example, there's like section tag that you use in order to separate some section of the element. There is an article tag that is used mostly for, news articles, blog posts, etc. But we have like a whole separate class on those tags, so I don't want to go too deep on that topic today, and also I don't want to overwhelm you guys, so we're not gonna like talk about them too much. Okay, so for now, just remember that a div is one of those tags that we use in order to group elements together. Okay, any questions?
No, I don't have.
Cool.
Could you please remind me what was UL and OL stands for unnoticed list? What was it again?
So UL stands for unordered list.
Oh, unordered. Okay, thank you.
Did I spell that right? Unordered list. Yeah. LI stands for list
Ordered.
item. And OL stands for ordered list.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. And I will also share this whole thing with you guys, so you don't need to worry like about keeping up. And these are header tags. And there is 7 of them. And a div is used to group elements together. All right. Cool. Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, unfortunately,
Yes,
I just
please.
skipped the part when you said about section and alert. You said it's like the same as div, or I just
Yeah, they so basically they are a new generation of divs. They were introduced with the latest version of HTML5, and they're also used in order to group elements together. But you guys will have like a separate 3-hour class on those tags. So that's why I don't want to like go too deep into that. For today, like if you know what div is, that should be enough.
okay. You said HTML5. Is there like a few options of HTML?
Is there what?
You said HTML. It will be in HTML5.
Yeah.
So what does mean HTML5 like?
Oh, okay. So HTML5 is the latest version of
Okay,
HTML.
it's the version.
Yeah. Before that, there were like 4, 4 point something, 3, like different versions. So 5 is the latest one.
Okay, thanks. Simple. Thanks.
All right. If you guys don't have questions for me, then I will have questions for you because I'm, a very, very evil person. So I'm gonna torture you now. So can you guys tell me, let's see. Okay. So what does HTML document start with? Like, what's the first thing that you need to insert into HTML document?
The document.
Title.
Declaration.
What's that?
Declaration.
Yeah, exactly. Doc type, right? Which is the declaration of exactly like which version of HTML document is about to be processed by the browser. Okay, cool. So what does HTML document start with other than doc type declaration?
Like header and body.
Just
Yeah, but
HTML.
yeah, so it starts with HTML tag, right? So this is how the browser knows that this is the beginning of the HTML document and this is the end. So HTML tag, I'm talking about this tag, right? So it will communicate to the browser the beginning and the end of the HTML document, okay? Cool. So HTML tag wraps the whole document. So basically, you see, like it's at the very beginning and at the very end of the document. Cool. So what are the 2 main parts of the HTML document?
May I ask you a question?
Sure.
Yeah. Can you tell me about more the language, HTML language, English? There is attribute. Yeah. If I write like ru, the whole document will be in Russian or what?
Oh, you mean this language property?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. So basically it just specifies which language you're using in the document. So if you switch it to Russian, it will not translate the document to Russian. So it's just there for like more like information purpose. So because we're using like English in this document, that's why it says EN.
So you mean about the content itself or
Yeah, the content.
about the text?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
no, content.
Yeah.
And so I have also one. Is the H1 tag has unchangeable font size?
No, you can still make some modifications.
Because like I can make the paragraph and set some font size, it's gonna be the same as the H1.
Yeah, you can make any kind of element look like H1.
Yeah.
But
Is it
better-
crucial to use the H1? It's more than paragraph. Like it,
So yeah, what you mean is that like we can create a paragraph and say
style it
header.
then after.
Yeah, and then we can basically apply some CSS and make it look
Yeah.
exactly like a header, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. It's possible, definitely, but it's better to use appropriate HTML tag and then make, if you need to make changes to the header, you can make CSS changes to it, but just semantically and structurally, it's better to use the tag that you need to use. So if it's some kind of header, then it's better to use one of the H tags. Why? Because I think we've talked about it a little bit in the beginning. So there are users who are not able to like see the content, so they use screen readers, right? So the screen reader will tell them that this header is a paragraph, and it will be confusing for them. So it's better to use like some kind of header tag, so they know that there is some kind of header coming up. Okay, and that's one reason. Another reason is, you know, when you search for some kind of information on Google, Google has its own logic behind the scenes in order to rate your web page. And if your web page is well structured, your web page has more chances of appearing on top of the search results rather than if it doesn't. So if your web page is well structured, Google will think, okay, so this is like a well-structured, well-built web page. So I'm gonna go ahead and show it on like top of my search results. Okay, but if you have like a bunch of messy tags and there's no like logical structure to it, then Google will think, okay, so maybe I will move it like all the way down to like my 10th page of the search results, you know? So like there's a bunch of reasons why you want to use correct HTML tags. And you know, we will dive into those topics like later on in this month.
So you're basically talking about the semantics, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So like structurally, if HTML element exists for, you know, a specific purpose, then you need to use that specific HTML element.
Okay,
And
okay,
there's
thank
not,
you.
yeah, and there's not too many of those. You know, HTML has what, like, I don't know, like 30, 40 elements, right? In
Yeah.
total. So if they exist, it means that they exist for a reason.
Some purpose.
Yeah, so it's better to use them. Yeah. So for example, you can like have a div and style it as a button. It will still work, right? And you can insert functionality, so it will act exactly like a button. But if there is an HTML tag for button, then better to use that one.
And I also have one question. The H1 tag can contain only a text, or I can put in like image tag and then do it, or put in div tag and put more elements like 5, 6, or what?
So H1 specifically it's better if it just contains content, but if you need like a large header section, you can use
Header.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that one it exists specifically in order to group all the header elements together.
Again.
Okay.
Yeah, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Sure.
Asela, may I
Yes.
ask? Yeah, Nursultan already said about it. So, does the language do some function or not? If we will change.
No, not really. So it's just there in order to like communicate what
Uh-huh.
kind of language we are using in our content.
Yeah, thanks.
Mhm. Okay, so I have a couple of more questions for you guys. Okay, so what does HTML element consist of?
HTML document, body, header, and
No,
that's
I
all.
mean HTML element. So like paragraph element. What does it consist of?
Open tag and end tag.
Mhm. So opening tag,
And
closing.
I don't know how it's called. Ending tag.
It's called closing tag.
Closing tag, yeah.
Yeah, so there's opening tag, closing tag, and there's content, right? Okay, so like most of the HTML elements consist of these three parts. So why do we have self-closing tags?
For example, for images.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so image is one of the self-closing tags. So we have self-closing tags because like some elements, they don't need any content, right? So for example, image tag or horizontal ruler like HR tag or BR tag, they don't have any content in them. They cannot have any content in them. So therefore they're self-closing. Cool. Good, good. I think we are through like at least some of the HTML basic concepts. Do you guys want to have a second break now before we move on to like practice exercise?
No, I want to move on.
How
Yeah,
about
let's
that?
have a break.
Yeah, I agree. Let's hear it.
Okay. Okay, so let's have a 10-minute break. You know, if you guys feeling overwhelmed, get like a glass of water or a liter of coffee, whatever, you know, whatever helps you. And then in the third part of the class, we are going to do like a exercise, okay? And also, is everyone part of our Slack channel, guys?
What?
Is everyone part of the Slack channel?
No, I didn't
Uh,
learn yet.
No?
Lauren.
Not
Okay.
yet.
Okay, cool. No problem. So once you guys, so like after the class, in an hour, our administrator, Jaldis, is going to join. So she will take care of all of those questions. But what I want to do is I want to share this file. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share it in the Zoom chat. 1 second, because I want to get rid of that one. Let's see, where is it? Oh, right here. I think I can share a file. Yep. No. Let's see. Okay, I'll figure out. So let's have a 10-minute break. In the meantime, I'll figure out how I can share this file with you guys. And then we can move on to our practice exercise. Okay, get some rest. I will see you in 10 minutes. Okay. Are you guys back with me?
Yes.
Nice. Up. Okay. How about others? Did you guys get some time to make yourself like a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and get a cookie or something?
Yeah, watch it TikTok. Aselia, are you okay with me if I will use some Russian words in my questions? Is it not
Sure.
prohibited?
Absolutely. Whatever, whatever makes you
Thank
comfortable.
you. Just to be honest, I can understand like 70%. Uh, if you when you explain something, it's really difficult for me.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah,
Oh,
I every time use translator, but it's okay. In general, I can understand what you're talking about. So
do you want me to talk slower, maybe?
no,
Or-
no, it's
Okay.
absolutely fine. If I don't understand something, I just use my translator. But when
Okay.
I have a question, I will have to use some Russian words to.
Of course. Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, feel free.
I just
Um,
checked our students, so I think everyone knows Russian. So I think
I mean, if they don't, I can always translate it for them.
okay.
So no problem. Like whatever makes you comfortable, we are here to learn, and we don't want the language barrier to stand on our way, right? So yeah, let's if there's something like a term or a specific word that you're not sure. I mean, I struggle with English all the time, so like I can totally relate to your situation. So feel free to use, whatever language.
I think I'm the only one in this group who really have bad skills.
No. I assure you that's not true.
No.
No, okay. Thank you.
So
Thanks.
let's suffer together. It's more fun that way.
That's
I don't
actually
know
very,
how
yeah.
about I don't know how about you guys, but when I talk, like when I'm in the class and I talk for 3 hours straight, it makes me really tired. Like my whole face is just so I don't know, so like tense after the class. I think that's because when you speak English, you're using like a different set of facial muscles, because like at home with my husband, we speak Russian. So I think it's like a totally different set of muscles, probably. And also when I'm in the class, like I don't know, I don't notice that, but I always smile when I talk to them, when I
Yeah,
talk to you.
same thing.
So it's like I get really tired after 3 hours of having to think and speak in only English. So yeah, I totally understand that it's challenging. So feel free to use Russian when you feel like it. Okay.
That's cool. Thanks.
All right. So I have left my notes here. So like at the end of the class, I will share this whole project with you guys. So you will have access to everything that we have done so far. So do you guys have like a WhatsApp group, or how do you communicate with each other?
We don't communicate.
Yes, we have a WhatsApp group chat.
For now, we
So
have
do
only
you
WhatsApp group.
So do you like awkwardly sit in
Maybe you
silence?
can open some Telegram group. It's kind of better than WhatsApp, no?
Yeah, I
No,
think.
let's use Slack.
Yeah,
Or
definitely for like.
Discord, no?
Okay, so
Yeah,
definitely
Slack
for
is an official.
work-related issues, for like study-related issues, we're definitely using Slack. It's very convenient. Everyone is there. Everybody's supposed to be there. So if you're not in our Slack channel, please make sure that you are added to that. But also, like, I know that some students, they create like WhatsApp
Their
groups
own.
to talk to each other because some people are more present on WhatsApp than on Slack. So, feel free to do whatever, is comfortable for you guys. I want you all to get to know each other, to be in touch with each other. It's very important, to like cooperate and work together. Okay, so you guys are in it together for the next 6 months. So it's, you know, it's a good idea to be in touch. Okay.
Yeah, Celia. Yeah, Celia. Yeah, to continue your idea about knowing each other. So can we get a little bit more information about your background?
Sure. Yeah. Why don't we? Okay. So why don't we work on the project and then we can talk a little bit
Okay.
about myself, which I absolutely
Okay,
love
that
to
sounds
do. I love
sounds
talking about
fair.
myself. Okay, good. So where was I? Okay, so we're gonna build this About Me project. Okay, and some of those things that we're gonna do are already familiar to you guys. Some of the things that we will implement are gonna be a little bit new. So just follow along with me, no need to code, just participate, okay? So let's start with this section right here. What do you think this is?
H1. No,
Okay,
It's
cool.
header.
header.
Uh-huh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, how do I create like a new HTML element from scratch? What's the shortcut?
You type doc type and then enter.
Exclamation mark.
No.
Okay, or
No.
exclamation mark, and then tab, right? And then it will create like a skeleton of an HTML document. Okay, so in the body, we are going to create some kind of header. So let's do H1. Does it say about me? Right? Okay, about me. And then what is this horizontal line here?
HR.
HR.
Mhm. Cool. Let's see. Okay. How about this list?
Unordered. Oh,
Unordered list, right? Okay. So I'm
But it
gonna,
also links, right?
yep, those are also links. So why don't we first create the list items, homepage
and
tool, choices, homepage. So I'm just gonna copy paste it a bunch of times. I think it says tools, my choices. What else? My choices, websites to follow. And then one more. What was the last one?
Tech.
Text. Okay, thank you. Cool. So now we have our unordered list, right? But if you guys noticed, like this unordered list looks different than ours, right? It's because it's not just a simple list, but also like a bunch of links. So for example, if I click on Say Tech, it will be linked to our Saytex webpage, right? If I click on websites to follow, it will give me a different page here. So like with a bunch of websites that I need to follow. If I click on homepage, I will be taken back to the homepage. So how do I create a link? In order to create a link, we need to use anchor tag. Okay, so anchor tag looks like this. Okay, so this is called anchor tag, and we use it in order to create a link. Href. So can you guys tell me what this is?
hyper reference. Yep.
Right.
No.
And in the context of an HTML tag, what's this called?
Ссылка. Oh.
It was
Closing.
attribute, right? It's an
Yeah.
attribute. So just like in an image, we had an attribute. So this is also an attribute. Okay, and then like inside the link, we can specify like the text of the link or the name of the link. And then here goes the URL itself. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn our list items into links. So I'm gonna go ahead and create an anchor tag. So for now, the URL part, we're gonna leave it empty just for now, and we will fix it later. Okay, so homepage, tools, my choices. I wonder what that means. Okay, websites to follow. And then the last one is CTEC. Okay, cool. There we go. So now you can see that they're also like active links, right? So if I want, so once I click on CTEC, I want this link to take me to the CTEC's webpage, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and copy this URL. And I'm gonna paste this URL as a value for the href attribute. Okay, so this is an attribute and this is the value for this attribute. So if I save it, now if I click on CTEC, it will take me to my CTEC webpage, right? But we don't want it to open it. We don't want the CTEC page to be opened on the same page. We want it to be opened in another tab. So what we want to do is we want to add one more attribute, which is called target. And if you set target to _blank, it will basically make sure that whatever link you're trying to open, it will open it in a different tab, not in the same tab. Okay, so now if I save this, and if I click on CTEC, now it's opening in a different tab. Do you guys feel the difference?
Yes.
No.
No?
No.
So, okay, let's go back. So if I don't use target blank, right? Like so. So it's just a regular link. And then if I click on CTEC, it will open CTEC in the same tab where I have my current page, right? So then I have to like go back in order to see my page. So in many ways, like in many situations, we don't want our user to be leaving our web page. So what we do is we add target blank property. Okay, so then if the user clicks on some kind of external link, you see how my document, my like tab is still here and CTEC's page is opened in the next tab.
Yeah, it's separate. Yeah, got it.
So that's what target blank does. Okay, cool. So for now, these will remain empty just for now. We will come back to them later. All right, so what do we have? Let me close that. Okay, how about this part?
Image.
Image. Cool. Okay, here we have an image of Marat, our founder, but why don't we use our adorable puppy again? I hope Marat doesn't mind that we're using, we're changing his profile picture. There we go. And you see how this image is like larger than the one that we want to see. So image tag actually has width and height properties. So for example, you can set a height to, I don't know, 150 pixels. And that will resize your image. In our case, that will make it smaller. So you can use like either width or height properties to control the size of your image. Okay.
Say that, sorry, just question. So you link to the CTEC, the next page, right?
Yeah.
Который существует. But when we want to create the new, what we have to provide and what link do we need to provide? Because we even didn't create a new one. How can like?
So you mean like if I have a tools page, how do I link to that one?
Yeah, мы взяли уже готовое, а если мы сами делаем, какую ссылку брать для этого? Куда?
So we will come back to that question a little bit later. So I want to go through this page first, and then we will work on those things.
Mhm.
Okay?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Then we have, okay, so what is this part here?
Here's HR and the P page of the paragraph.
So we have some kind of paragraph, right? And some kind of header. Okay, so where is it? So like after the image, we're gonna use, okay, let's do like H2 and Marat, right? And then we have some kind of paragraph. Let's just fill it with a dummy text. Okay. Okay, and then we have another section which is about me. So I'm gonna use, let's do H3, it's about me. And then like another paragraph with some dummy text. Sometimes when you want to have like a specific number of dummy text, like specific number of words, you can specify it with like, let's say lorem 50, and then it will give you like exactly 50 words. Okay. Cool. So how about this part right here?
Ordered list.
Okay, so looks like we have like one more, let's say H3, that says my goals, and then ordered list with a bunch of list items. Okay, so learning HTML. JavaScript, React, and finding a job. Okay. All right, cool. So here's the very fancy, very pretty page that we have built. Now, how do I create links to, so let's say I need to create like a tools page, right? So let's see what the tools page looks like. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create one more file that says tools.html. Okay. And for now, I'm just gonna say this is tools page. Okay, so how do I, so when I click on tools right here, I want this link to lead me to this tools page, right? So how do I do that? What I can do is I can right click on this file and get copy relative path. And then in the href part, instead of the URL, for example, that we used here, like external URL, right? So now we're just going to show the path to this page. And let's save that. If I go back now and I click on tools, it will show me the tools page. Okay, does it make sense?
Okay.
So like in here, we were using an external URL, right? Because we needed this link to lead to our SATEC webpage. But here we just needed to like lead to our internal file, which is tools.html. So that's why in the href part, we are specifying just the,
root.
path to our file here, tools.html. Same for choices and websites to follow. We will work on those a little bit later. Now I want to work on the tools HTML. So first of all, if I go, let's see what they have there. Okay, so if I go to my tools page, you see they have the same UL there, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and copy that, paste it here. Okay, So now when I click on homepage, where is it supposed to take me? Where's my homepage?
We don't have it yet.
How about this one?
Yeah,
Oh, it's the index.
Yeah, so that's my homepage, right? So when I click on homepage, then it means that here I want it to take me to index.html, right? So let's test it. Now, if I go back and if I click tools, here I have my UL, and if I click on homepage, it will take me back to my very fancy homepage, okay? Now let's go back to tools. Do they have anything else there?
so his page in very slow window. Do you need to create like him, like his page in the half window, or is later?
Could you repeat that? I'm so sorry.
I mean, yeah, we can see right now his page on the half of screen. Like
It's a
Oh, yeah, that's because
syllabus.
it's just
Syllabus.
for like preview. So it's just a preview window. That's why it looks like that. But we will work on the full page today.
okay,
Okay, so what is this part?
header.
Header.
Okay, so in our tools, right after the UL, I'm gonna create H1. I forgot what it says. Like, you know, guys, I have a memory of this. Have you guys watched Finding Nemo?
Yes.
So remember there's this funny fish. I think her name is Glory.
Dory, right? With
Dory.
fish memory.
Yeah, so I'm just like that fish. Okay.
Same.
I can never remember anything. So you guys will have to help me with that. Okay. Okay, so right here we have another HTML tag. Does anybody know this tag?
Table.
Yeah, it's a table. So what we can do is we can create another, so right here, I'm gonna go ahead and create a table. And in order to fill this table with data, what we need several tags. We need to know several tags here. So first one is TR. TR stands for table row. Do you guys know what the row is?
No.
Yeah, it's oh, okay.
Yeah, row means like
Line.
a
Line, yeah.
Yeah, sort of like a line. So you know how in a table, so this is, for example, one table row. So like one line, okay? So TR stands for table row. And then we have TD, which stands for table data. And that table data will create cells for you. So for example, we have like tools and description. So I can create two TDs. That one says tools and the other one says description. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and create like a bunch of table rows. So for example, this one says code editors. And I'm just gonna copy the whole thing. Okay, so now if I go back to my page, you see how I have a table. There are no borders yet, but I have a table and I have several table rows. So one of them, this is the first row. It says tools and description. Second row right here has two table cells, right? One of them says code editors and the other one has like a bunch of text in it. So in order for you guys to see them clearly, I'm gonna do something. You guys don't worry about it. I'm just gonna use like a style tag. And for the table, THTD, I'm gonna add like a border. Don't worry about it. I want you guys to see the border here, okay? We will learn that stuff tomorrow. So for now, I just wanted to add the border so you guys can clearly see where the table row and table cells are. So this one is one table row, right? And it has two table data cells. So tools and description, okay? But see how here, these ones are a little bit more like highlighted. It's because they are using probably like a table header. I'm not sure if it's like table header or table head. So like here we are using just TD, right? So if I switch it to table header, you will see that now it will be like a little bit more like bold and sort of like highlighted, right? So that's because they're using, most probably they're using like TH for the first row. Okay, there.
Celia, if we use the bold tag, would it be considered as hard coding?
So we can style it, but again, like semantically, if you have a table header, then it's better to use the TH tag and then apply like a specific style that you want to apply to it. Okay, does it make sense? Because like just semantically, it would be more correct to it wouldn't be a mistake to just style it with like a bold tag, but it's better to use table header tag and then style it the way you want it to look. Okay, so it's like I don't know, it's like when you are texting something and you are typing somebody's name, so you can choose to type it with lowercase. It will not be a mistake, right? But still, like grammatically, it's correct to type it with uppercase letter. Do you know what I mean? So like you wanna be semantically correct when you're building your HTML layout.
Okay, and if
Yeah,
we use
all
the
this.
TH, does the header go in the middle?
What do you mean?
If you use the TH, for example, the description is declared as the table header, and it goes
Right.
automatically goes in the middle, right?
Yeah, so it's centered automatically.
Centered, yeah.
So why the words the above, it's header too, but it's not in central, like essential front end web development tools, it's not in the center.
Because this is H1.
Yes.
So they're not
Header too.
centered by default. And this is TH.
Only TH placed in the middle, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, TH will center the content because it wants you like to clearly see that it's a header of this table, right? But H1 to H7 tags, they don't center by default.
And can we do it like left aligned?
What's
Can we
that?
do it left aligned?
The header, TH?
Yes.
Of course, yeah, we can implement our own styling however we want. So this is just the default styling that is offered to us by the browser. And of course, we can overwrite it however we want. Okay, today we're not going to do that because today we don't do any of the CSS stuff. I think tomorrow we will start with some basic CSS things, okay? All right. Let's see. So I'm not gonna do the rest of the table because this is just the same stuff. So you guys can finish this table as part of your homework assignment, okay? So let's look at, any questions?
No.
Yeah, Asel, you on the VS Code, you selected that all that. Let me open up my notes. You have this homepage tools, this list items. You selected and put everything in once. That's A tags. How you did it? And so, which shortcut did you use?
Oh, you mean this? So like that?
Yeah, like that.
Oh, that would be, are you using Mac or PC?
Mac.
So for Mac, it's Command Option, and then the arrow, like either up or down, however you want to go.
Command and Option.
Yeah, and
Oh,
then
nice.
arrow
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Sure.
Good to know.
If you
Asel,
guys
and what is it for PC?
for PC, if I'm not mistaken, it should be Control Alt and then arrow up or arrow down. Can you try that and let me know if that works? If not, I will find it. Find the shortcut.
Yeah, it works.
Okay, so for
Yes.
Mac users, like if you need like a longer cursor, because sometimes it's just easier to edit it this way. So this like longer cursor for Mac users, again, it's Command Option and then arrow up or arrow down. For PC, it's Control Alt, right? Control Alt and then arrow up, arrow down. Okay. Good. Those are all really good questions. Keep them coming, guys.
Yep, thank you.
Anything else before we move on to my choices?
Yeah,
Okay.
after the pressing the links, the words change his color. It happens automatically.
Yeah, that's also done by the browser to show you like which links you have already visited and which links you haven't. So the same like when you're, for example, Googling something, you can see which links you have already visited and which links are still not visited. Yeah. So
If we will just restart the page.
then they will, okay,
Yeah.
so you mean our page?
Yeah, if we'll try it, nothing.
Yeah, it will still be because browser will remember the links that we have visited, I think. Oh, you mean this? Like,
Yeah,
this?
after the pressing, there's changed the color. How can we like return his?
So let me show you. Right now, my homepage, my choices and websites to follow look different than this, right? That's what you mean?
Yeah, I got it. You said it happens automatically. So, but even we tried to restart the page, but the color didn't. Didn't change.
I think in this case, that's happening because. So right now these are dummy links, right? So if I create my choices, okay, and I'm just gonna go ahead and type choices. So now if I go to my homepage and I link my choices to my choices, then so right now, if I click on it and go back, you see it's already visited.
It's
And
purple.
even if I refresh, like browser will still remember that I have already like visited this link before. So it will be like a bit of a different color.
Yeah, but actually in websites it's returning the first color when I restart.
Yeah, we can fix that later on when we are working with like CSS stuff. We can change the style of the links however we want. So, but actually like in Google, even if you Googled something 2 days before, right? And then you Google something again today.
Yeah, It's true.
The articles that you have read, they will still be marked as read.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe, I mean, as far as the Google is concerned, like I would probably prefer for it to remember the links that I visited, but not necessarily in this case, right? In this case, we want to keep them just the same color, like all of them. And tomorrow we can probably work on that. Okay?
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. All right, now let's work on our tools page. Okay, so what do we have here?
Well, I don't remember.
Yep, it's ordered list. And how about this part?
It's just
UL,
EL.
unordered list.
Yeah, so we have unordered list, which is nested inside the ordered list, right? So let's also copy that UL to my choices. Okay, and then what do we need to do here? We need H1 with my choices. Okay, and then we have a ordered list with, for example, a list item that says code editors, right? And then we have a UL, which is nested inside our ordered list that says atom vs code. Oh, atom. So VS code and so on. Okay, now if I go back to my UI, which page was that? My choices. If I click on my choices, I will see the code editors and I will see the nested unordered list inside the ordered list. So I will not continue here because I want you guys to finish this and practice just, the syntax. But what are these?
Hyperreference.
Yeah, so they're also links, right?
Yeah.
So let's see if they actually do something. Oh, okay. So those are links to like articles about those code editors. Okay, so how do I okay, so again we need an enter tag. Okay, so for example, this atom is supposed to lead us to this page. So how do I link them?
You wrap with the A tag.
Right. So I have an A tag. What's next?
Oh, you insert this link in a href attribute.
Exactly. So URL goes as an href attribute. Anything else?
Oh, that's all.
So notice how here, if I click on atom, it takes me to
Oh, it's target blank.
exactly. Oh, target blank. Oh, let me close those. And this one.
Do we have other options? Other of the target, like in a new window? No.
I think so, yeah. Let's see. So we have target, blank, parent, self, and top. So maybe that's parent.
What does they mean?
Nope. not tab, but window. Yeah, looks like we only can
No, we
open
don't
it.
have it. Yeah, I checked
Yeah.
it already.
Mhm. Yeah, looks like. Yeah, they're only offering us like a target blank
Yeah.
option, which is separate tab. Yep, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right here, and as a homework, you guys are supposed to finish this list, okay, and also add links to those unordered list items. Okay, cool. So let's see what else we have here. Websites to follow. Okay, so this one you guys will implement. Do you think you can implement it on your own?
Yeah, sure.
How about others?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's keep this part as a homework. So you just need to like follow the, the list or the table that we have created for, was it in my choices? No, in tools, right? So just follow the same pattern there, and you just need to fill it with like different data. And also notice how these are also links. Okay, so don't forget about those. Okay, so I think we're pretty much done. So again, like as a homework, what I want you to do, guys, is first rewatch the video from today's class. That's probably the rule that you guys should follow like by default. Okay, so like it's very important for just for the learning process to go as smoothly as possible. You guys need to rewatch each class. I know that it takes a lot of time, but you guys can open a link, like a video link once you have it, and then rewatch the class on like a higher speed, right? You can watch it on like 1.5 to save you some time. But I can promise you that once you rewatch the video from the class, your understanding of the topic will enhance dramatically. So this, even if your instructor like doesn't explicitly tell you to rewatch the video, I would still advise to rewatch each class that you have. It takes time, but it's really worth it. It's really worth it. I can promise you that. Homework, as a homework for today, you guys need to finish this About Me project. I'm going to share what we did today, but also I would prefer if you guys also build the whole thing from scratch. So for example, like if you have time today or tomorrow before class, take some time to rewatch the video and just try to build this little project from scratch, because it will really help you. So you can, of course, like take today's project and just continue doing what we did, but it would be so much more productive. And I can promise you that you will feel immediately like you will feel a lot more confident if you try to build it from scratch. And if you get stuck, you can always go back to our video, or you can always go back to this folder that I will share today. And you can just, see what we did and find your mistake, okay? But it will be so much more beneficial if you build everything from scratch. That's advice number 2. Also, as another homework, we have these quizzes that we have discussed in the beginning of the class. So I think for today, 1 second, let me check. Yeah, so here, like for each class, you can feel free to check which quizzes you can take after like which class. So after today, you can try to take basic and standard quiz. So it means that, oh, where was it? So these two. Okay, and these quizzes, they're just for your own good, so you can take them as many times as you want. Just it's, you know, for you guys to check your own understanding of the topic, and maybe if there is like some concepts or some terms that we haven't discussed, it's a good chance to check those terms as well. Let's see what else. Oh, and please, those of you who, like, if there's anyone who hasn't installed VS Code yet, or if you need to, like, I'm pretty sure we need to install several extensions to VS Code, and we also need to, by the way, we need to discuss the homework submission system. So like for all of those questions, please stay for another extra hour. Mario will be joining soon. And he will address all of those questions. So you guys can, you know, start working on your homeworks, and you can also be able to submit the homework. Because here, like this is the About Me project that we were working on today. So you will need to like submit it. I don't know. I can't really do it here, I think. Yeah, because I think I have like administrative account or something like that, but you guys will need to submit the homework in a certain way. So that will also be discussed during the extra class. While we still have a bit of time, let me see if Mario is here. No, okay. So while we still have a little bit of time, let's use that in order for you guys to register on CodePen. So CodePen, it's you guys are gonna love it. It's very useful. It's very easy to work on CodePen. So maybe like somebody can share their screen, and I can walk you guys through the steps of like how you can register and how you will use it for your homeworks. Any volunteers? Oh, okay, Nursultan. Do you wanna unmute yourself too? Oh, let me do that for you actually. 1 second. No, stop. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So yeah, you need to sign up. The green button. Yep.
No, no. Check out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So CodePen is like VS Code and browser in one tab, basically. So you see how they have okay, 1 second. Can I get a control? So I'm gonna request control. If you could click like agree or something.
No.
You will see like a pop-up there. Okay, thank you so much. So here, can you guys see my mouse? Oh, yeah, okay. So think of this this part here as like your VS Code window, and this part here is going to be your browser. Okay, so whatever we did today, so like for example the HTML part, you can work on it here in the HTML section. And tomorrow, when we're going to talk about some basic CSS stuff, you can work on like, instead of having like a separate CSS file, you can work on your CSS right here, okay? And you can also change the layout. Let's see, it's been a while since I used it, so nope.
Sorry.
Oh, not here. Okay, so there was definitely a way, so you guys will have to find it. There was a way to like change the layout. If this one is not convenient, you can
Maybe
put the
it's here.
cursor to the side.
Look in eyes button here. Change view.
Oh yeah, I think it's this one. Could you click on that one?
Yeah, I'm clicking, but there is no options. Or what?
Okay.
No,
Oh,
Got
grid
you.
list.
no, that's different. Do we need to save that first? Hold on, let me. So when you guys create a new code pen, you see how here like it says untitled. So make sure that you
Oh, okay.
name your work. So for example, if you're working on today's homework, that's about me project, right? So you're gonna name it about me. And you wanna keep your code pens organized because I can promise you like in a week, you will have, I don't know, like 5 to 6 different code pens. And it will be difficult to navigate unless you keep them organized. So make sure that your code pen name matches the project name that you're working on, okay? So once you rename it, make sure that you also save it because sometimes you forget to save it and it doesn't, if it doesn't automatically save it for you, then you will lose your code once you close this tab. Oh, and right here, once you save it, you have that option to change the view. So I prefer this view. Right? So this part is like a browser and this part is your HTML part. So today when you will be working on your homeworks, you will need to create a CodePen link and submit your homework using CodePen link, okay?
Celia, sorry. So
Yes?
it's possible to create like a new page to use him like a link.
So that part is going to be a little bit of a headache. Sorry, guys, because CodePen doesn't allow to have like several sort of like files inside one CodePen. So you will have to create multiple CodePens for each link.
Page.
So, yeah. So for example, if I have, let's say, like a list item that leads to my tools page, right? Let's say tools, right? So in order to link this to the tools page, you will have to create like one more CodePen. So Nursultan, could you create one more CodePen for us, please? You can just open like a new right here CodePen.
What was? Oh, when
And new pen.
No,
Just
the
first one.
pen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so this one you can name as like rename as tools. Up. Okay, and then you save it. So don't forget to save it, guys. It's very important. And then you have to grab that URL here. Okay, copy that. Oh, could you copy that, please? Sorry. And then use it as a value for this attribute here. Could you paste it for us? Yeah, so then this is how like you will have to create pages, but this is only temporary. I think in most of our projects we use only one page. So it's just a few projects that you will have to deal with this kind of situation.
Yeah, it's actually just for testing the few functions here.
Yeah, sorry about that. But once you like submit the homework, you are going to use like CodePen link. So for example, Nursultan, once you are done creating and working with this About Me project, so you will save your code and then you will copy this URL. Could you copy that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, and let's go back to our portal.
Which one? Here?
Yeah. So you see how it says homework projects? Start.
Alright.
Yep. And then you will paste your link. You see how on the bottom there it says
Yes.
please submit your link. Please submit your project URL. Yeah, so you enter. Don't click submit yet,
Okay.
but once you're done, you can submit it. Okay.
Okay. Gotcha.
So this is, guys, how you are going to submit your homeworks during the HTML and CSS part. And I think once we get to the JavaScript section, it's going to be a little different. But for the first month, this is the system that we're going to use.
Say by submitting this bottom, so we will send our project to you, or we will just compare with this project or what?
So I'm not sure if we have.
I can.
If-
Thank you. Thank you, Asel.
Okay. Hi, Adai.
Hi, everyone.
Sorry, I didn't see you there.
Oh, no worries. Thank you so much for showing how to submit the homework.
Sure.
So whenever you click on submit, homework will be sent to Izada and Judas. So they will be checking your homeworks and then they will be grading. Then you will see your grades.
Nice.
We'll give usually 1 week to submit. By the end of this week, we probably you should finish all the homeworks for this week.
So do we have a limit to send our project until the next lesson or not?
As soon as possible, but I would say 1 week, maybe
Just a
Sunday,
week.
by Sunday, by this coming Sunday, you should submit 5 homeworks.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I can return to my page.
What's that?
How I can return to my the first page basic? I don't know.
You mean the About Me page?
No, I mean Zoom. Where is
Oh,
it?
You should stop sharing.
Yeah.
Where?
Mhm.
Yep. I typed it.
Thank you so much, Nursultan. Thank you for your help.
Can you just shut down my sharing?
Don't worry.
Oh,
If you click on Zoom, you should see stop sharing. Maybe it's on the top, probably. Click on Zoom.
No, I haven't.
so there should be like a Zoom menu.
Oh, here, yeah. Post sharing. Please shut down.
So if you want, I can stop
Yeah,
sharing.
yeah.
Oh,
Stop.
good.
Yeah.
Good. So yeah, navigating these little tools that we're using can be a little tricky in the beginning, but I can promise you guys, after the first week, right now, first week can be a little bit stressful because there's just so much new information and homeworks and everything. But we are here for you. You guys have the support system that has been in place for a while now. So don't worry, we're always here. We can help you out. Okay, so now I think I'm gonna stop the recording because your extra class will start now. So I think those need to be 2 separate recordings. 1 second.